Good morning. Today we will be doing on chapter 9, unit 3, what are the important topics to be covered. In this, basically we are going to see into the World Trade Organization, regional trade agreements and things. So here are the types of RTA, and there are unilateral trade agreements, bilateral trade agreements, regional preferential trade agreements, trading bloc, customs union. All this I have dealt in detail in my general lesson videos. So I am just going to give you a gist on what are these. See, if you say unilateral trade agreement is one country having a trade agreement, they are having a trade agreement with another country. Importing country offers trade incentives to encourage the exporting country. Bilateral trade agreements, by the name itself says, this is between two countries, two blocks, between one block and another country. Like between EU and India, it's between a block and a country. Okay, between two blocks can be between EU and ASEAN. So there are different ways a bilateral trade agreement will work. So then you have a regional preferential trade agreements among a group of countries, reduce trade barriers in a reciprocal basis among the members of that particular group. Like EU has an understanding inside itself. Okay. Then you have a trading bloc is there, like the Arab League, European Free Trade Association. Maybe please expect EFTA stands for. That question might come up. It's a European Free Trade Association. Whenever these acronyms, please write it in as make us a separate list. All these acronyms of NAFTA, EFTA, then this GSTP, that is Global System of Trade Preferences among developing countries. Please write it and memorize it, so that on any one of this a question is possible across the lessons. Across the lessons, starting from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever it is, just make a list of these acronyms and what is the full form of that. A question is possible there. Then what is a free trade area? What is a customs union? See, a free trade area, see again, that is ASEAN, India free trade area is there. So, free trade area is a group of countries that eliminate all tariff and quota barriers on trade with the objective of increasing exchange of goods with each other. The trade among the member states flows tariff free, but the member states maintain their own distinct external tariff when they are dealing with other countries and with the respect to imports from the rest of the world. So, there they have the freedom to do it. Okay. What is a custom union? Please, the Southern Common Market also, Mercosur. So, see what's a customs union? This is a group of countries that eliminate all tariffs on trade among themselves. Eliminate all tariffs, but how are they different from free trade areas? They maintain a common external tariff on trade with countries outside the union. That is where they differ from free trade area. Okay. This common external. So, this question might come up. What is the major difference between free trade area and customs union? What distinguishes free trade area from customs union? Anything can be given. A common external tariff on trade with countries outside the union. Then they might ask, they might say independence in determining the tariffs with non-members, or they put it in different ways. Okay. Then which is not true about these questions. So when they ask this, what is thing, they might give you different, they will pick out from here, but the major difference happens to be common external tariff on trade with countries outside the union. Okay, so here they eliminate all tariff among both countries, with member states, and all quota barriers or also of trade are removed with member states. Then what is the difference from other? There is a maintain a common external tariff on trade with countries outside the union. So the first two are right. The third one is wrong. So which is not a part of a distinguishing. What distinguishes free trade area and customs union? That way they might face a question on that. So you understand the difference and study. So then you have general agreement on trade. This is an important part where GATT lost its relevance by the 1980s. Why? Okay, they might ask a question on this. which is not a reason for GATT losing its relevance in the 1980s. Okay, it was obsolete to the fast evolving contemporary complex world trade scenario. I can give you the second thing is wrong actually. International investments had fallen substantially. Intellectual, or I can give you international investments had expanded substantially, I can keep it as such. Then I can say intellectual property rights and trade in services were covered by GATT, and the ambiguities in the multilateral system could be heavily exploited. In this, the wrong answer is intellectual property rights and trade in services were covered by GATT is a wrong point. So, if I say why, which is not one of the reasons for GATT losing its relevance by the 1980s, that one thing I just twisted the words, that will be. So, please be thorough with these points also. GATT losing its relevance in the 1980s. This one question is possible, where the agreement was signed by and took effect on April 15, 1994. That year, please memorize. This also marked the birth of the World Trade Organization. So, in which particular round did it start? So, when did it start? The World Trade Organization is, it started with the, finally in December 1993, Uruguay round, the 8th and most ambitious and largest ever found of World Trade Organization was completed after 7 years of elaborate negotiations. Agreement was signed by most countries. So, there is a Doha round, there happens to be a Tokyo round, and there is an Uruguay round. So, the birth of the mark the birth of the World Trade Organization with the first institutional framework encompassing the GATT as modified by the Uruguay round. So, what led to the birth of the World Trade Organization is the Uruguay round. I can give the Doha round, Tokyo round, to confuse you, I can give an India round also, but it's the Uruguay round. Please, that one question is possible there. In WTO, the 6 key objectives, please memorize. One question is possible here. Okay, in the key objectives, how to set and enforce rules for international trade, provide a forum for negotiating, monitoring further trade liberalization to resolve trade disputes. So, there are questions that are possible in this 6 key objectives. Okay. And the structure of WTO, please remember, again there are only 3 levels. So, any question is possible here. The ministerial conference meets at least once every dash years. I can write 2, I can give 3, I can give 1, I can give in 4 years also. So, the right answer is the ministerial conference meets at least once every 2 years. So, next level is the General Council, which meets several times a year in the Geneva headquarters. Where is the headquarters of the General Council? Question is possible there also. Then what does TRIPS stand for? So, the Intellectual Property Council. So, here TRIPS. So, here a lot of questions are possible here about the levels. And the guiding principles is, again there are innumerable questions that can form here. Please go through them right from this one. Article 3 of GATT, Article 17 of GATT and Article 3 of TRIPS is found on 3 main WTO agreements, national treatment. Which one article is not a part of the 3 main WTO arguments on which the national treatment is based on? I can give Article 3 of GATT, Article 17 of GATT and Article 3 of TRIPS, but I can give you Article 7 of GATT. So, you should be able to identify out of this which one is the odd one out. Question is possible there also. Then about transparency thing, there is one thing, how transparent public. Let's just go through it in WTO. And there are various agreements, but these agreements usually they will not ask a question on this. But anyways, best for you to go through them, but go to what is TBT or what is MFA, and just go through it. Say, I might ask you on a general basis, like say agreement or the MFA. I'll not give us full thing. Agreement on textiles and clothing replace the multi-fiber arrangement. So I can ask a question like agreement dash replace the multi-fiber arrangement. Agreement on textiles and clothing. Agreement on technical barriers to trade. Agreement on agriculture aims at strengthening. Agreement on agriculture. I can give you 4 wrong options. But agreement on textiles and clothing only replace the multi-fiber arrangement. I can give you a question. Dash replace the multi-fiber arrangement. And give you 3 wrong options and 1 right option. So you should be able to choose it. So you need not memorize everything, but just go through it. And what does I can give you on this also. The agreement on rules of origin provides. Then I can give you 4 options, 3 wrong options and 1 right option. Okay, I can give agreement on import licensing procedures. I can say provides or relates to harmonization of rules of origin for application of all non-preferential commercial policy instruments, simplification of administrative procedures to ensure the fair operation, aims to clarify definitions of subsidies. Like that, I'll give you 2 or 3 wrong options, but the right option here happens to be simplification of administrative procedures. So if I am asking agreement on import licensing procedures relates to, and I give you 3 wrong options, I can give you 1 right option. You should be able to choose the right option here. So like that, these type of questions might be asked. And like I already told you, please create lot of these acronyms like TPRM, Trade Policy Review Mechanism. You create an entire list and keep. So you just have a go through so that you will be able to see. For you is only objective. So you should be able to identify the right one. That is your major headache. It is not you would have to memorize it, but rather if you are able to identify the right one, you are there. So please be clear about it. So here just go for what is the Doha round covered. Then what country is not a part of the G20? See, or in this, don't memorize all the this 27% or 61% and 39%, etc. Mostly the countries that are involved of G20 members are. I might give you which one is not a part of the G20 agreement. I can give you a country which is not there. And when I do that, then automatically you will know, you should be able to identify that country. The question is possible there also. So thank you very much for listening to this, and please study well and best of luck for your exams. Of course, I will be doing chapter 9 unit 4 and unit 5 also in another video. Thank you.